Hey guys, thank you for joining me today. This practice is ideal as a warm-up first thing in the morning or as a cool down in the evening. I'm going to be using a yoga belt. You do not need anything, or you could use a dressing gown belt or even a towel. So let us begin in our child's pose. Big toes together, knees wide, forehead onward toward the floor. I'm going to keep my head lifted so you can hear me. Just take a moment to notice without trying to fix any gripping in the body. So where is your body gripping? Where is it holding on? Is it difficult not to try and fix it? Coming all the way up into a tabletop position, hands under shoulders, knees under buttocks, concaving our vertebra one at a time as we inhale. Exhale, tailbone tucks, rounding up through the spine. 2 more rounds, 1 vertebra at a time. So get into your other favorite vertebrae, concaving, and exhaling. Again, get into those areas of stiffness or tightness as you round. Let's relax the lungs before we inhale, like we're accidentally breathing. And relax the lungs before you're exhaling. Does that feel nice for your neck, the rounding? Have a little wiggle from side to side and get into any little pockets of tension. Think of everything here as cajoling. If your legs don't want to straighten, don't force. Not in this obviously, but in our down dog, etc. Elbows to the floor, puppy pose. Stay there, forehead onto something maybe, or bring your chin to the floor. Whatever feels good now, press the floor away, feel the squeeze, and relaxing the lungs before the breath comes in and out through the nostrils. Imagine you're being breathed, we're allowing any tension that is, and simply relaxing before the breath comes in and out. Coming back into a tabletop position, maybe thread the needle straight up, simple variation, beautiful, whatever feels good, or step the right foot out to the side. Now hold there if you're doing any of those, but if it's still too tight, maybe you simply use a moving variation of this pose. It won't be as restful, but you won't hurt yourself. Take a moment now to breathe by relaxing the lungs and allowing the breath in and out through the nostrils of its own accord. Visualize that you're allowing the space beyond the physical body to receive the breath, as well as your body, as well as your lungs. Like every cell in the body is opening to the breath. Every cell in the body is allowing the tension to drain away. Other side, you find your option either the moving variation, or you thread the needle, you tuck that right shoulder under, or rolling panda, step the left foot out to the side. Feel free as you allow the breath to come in and out, to press the floor away actively with the right shoulder. Just visualizing that you are being breathed rather than breathing. Pressing back into a child's pose or down dog here. Feel free to press the floor away with your hands. Lift the upper back away from the floor. Rock from the balls of the feet to the heels. We will be repeating, so sometimes coming back will help if we're stiff rather than holding. Hook your hands back to your feet now. Press through the balls of the feet and unfurling, stacking our vertebrae one at a time. Refurling, rolling back down through the spine. Another little pause at the bottom. Most people will have their knees bent. The tension now draining off our spine and off the top of the head. Walking our hands back out into our second downward facing dog. You can think of creating a nice arch for the foot so that it all feels good. Lowering our knees to the floor, stepping our right foot up beside our right thumb, opening that hip and having a little wiggle. So releasing into that back thigh, into the front hip, and noticing if we're holding the breath. Half pigeon, heel to groin or more aligned with the top of the mat, whatever feels good. Let's come back to visualizing the breath flowing in like a tide up and around the body. We relax the lungs to facilitate that flow, and we relax on the exhalation, and the breath flows down and around the body, down and around the hip, carrying the tension away. So breathing in and out of the hip, allowing that tide of breath in and out of the hip, as well as in and around and up through your body, and back, down and around through the hip, inviting the tension to drain away. Stepping back into your down dog or child's pose, round 3. Down dog is a little bit like orange juice in the morning. Now, I don't actually drink orange juice in the morning, but you know what I mean. It's a pretty standard, great pose to practice in the morning, very energizing. And also after doing something like weights, it lengthens the spine again. It kind of realigns us really. Walk your hands back to your feet. Stack your vertebrae one at a time. Getting those maybe stiffer vertebrae moving a little bit more as you roll back down through the spine. You choose, feel free to straighten your legs here if that's easy, but whatever you're doing, take hold of your elbows, Salamba Uttanasana, and allow your head to be heavy again. So we're not forcing anything. Stretch the mat between your feet. Allow the sit bones to lift up. We're just cajoling. You can even rock, move your head from side to side. Walk your hands back out into your downward facing dog. Pressing back through the thighs, lower your knees, step your left foot up beside the left thumb. Open that hip, have your little wiggle. Your little rock and roll. And then your half pigeon again. Let's calm our nervous system, helping us recover much better and quicker by breathing. Tide of breath moves up and around the body. Listen, it doesn't really matter what direction the tide moves in. Both sexes tend to breathe differently actually, but whatever feels natural for you, and then the breath moves back down or up in the opposite direction. So allow that tide of breath in and out of the body, in and out of the hip. I visualize it coming up through my body. We're inviting the hip, the muscles around the hip to ungrip. As the breath moves back down and around the body. Now, the next part is actually my personal favorite for warm-ups and cool downs, and that's releasing my legs. So with or without your belts, so interlace your hand behind your thigh if you want. Press the foot up towards the sky and pull your leg back into your socket. Continue breathing as you allow that space in and around the kneecap. Now cajoling, so swap sides, we'll come back to it, rather than holding or forcing. Thigh bone back into the socket, foot to the sky. Spaciousness around your knee joints, creating that space. Let's swap again. Left foot into the belt, right leg extends. At least don't hold the breath, just notice any tension there with the breath. Any gripping or holding on. And swapping legs again. So really, feel free to keep your knee bent, but you're drawing your sit bones back to the floor as you press the foot up towards the sky. Release your belt and take some windshield wipers of those legs. So you're releasing your hip flexors. Take a little full body stretch now, or do something else that feels good for you. And final little twist with the left knee across the body. Releasing the top chest. Back to the center and sweep the right knee across the body. Very often in my own practice, I would hold specific poses or work on any specific areas of tightness in my body. Obviously, you can do the same. Sometimes simply having a video on, we can explore what's working for us and keep the timing of the video. Lengthen your tailbone away. Sorry, I just went that there. Lengthen your arms away. Taking at least 10 rounds of breath, allowing the floor to support you. So inviting the body to be heavy and supported by that floor, that ground underneath the floor that's always actually there for us. If we can allow that excess tension to melt away. Allowing ourselves to be nurtured and nourished and supported as we rest.